And what about Jesus's teaching on not judging others? This doesn't mean we can't discern right from wrong. It means we must approach others with humility and compassion, recognizing that we all have faults. The next time you find yourself harshly judging someone, stop and ask yourself, what circumstances might have led this person to act this way? If I were in their situation, how would I act? This simple shift in perspective can transform how we see and treat others. Now let's talk about something we all face: worry and anxiety. Jesus says, therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Matthew 6:34. This doesn't mean we shouldn't plan for the future. It means we shouldn't let anxiety about the future steal our peace in the present. It's an invitation to live one day at a time, trusting that God will take care of us. How can we put this into practice? How about starting each day with a moment of gratitude? Before even getting out of bed, thank God for 3 things in your life. This helps set a positive tone for the day and reminds us of the blessings we already have. When anxiety strikes, and it will, try this exercise. Pause for a moment, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, is this worry about something I can control? If so, make a plan of action. If not, give it to God in prayer. Remember Jesus' words. Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Matthew 6:26. Let this truth sink into your heart. You are valuable. You are loved. You are cared for. And what about prayer? Jesus taught us the Lord's Prayer as a model. How about incorporating this prayer into your daily routine, not just reciting the words, but reflecting on each phrase? Our Father, remember that you have a heavenly Father who loves you. Your kingdom come. Commit to living out God's values today. Give us today our daily bread. Trust God to meet your needs. Now let's talk about temptation. Jesus addresses this in the Sermon on the Mount in a very direct and frankly uncomfortable way. He says, if your right eye causes you to stumble, gouge it out and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to be thrown into hell. Matthew 5:29. Wait a minute. Is Jesus really telling us to gouge out our eyes? No, he's using hyperbole, deliberate exaggeration, to make an important point. The point is this: we must take sin seriously and be willing to take drastic measures to avoid it. So how can we apply this in our daily lives? Think about the things that frequently lead you into temptation. Maybe it's certain websites or particular TV shows, or maybe it's certain people or places. Jesus is saying, be radical in dealing with these sources of temptation. If certain websites are a problem for you, install a blocker. If certain people always negatively influence you, maybe it's time to reevaluate those friendships. This isn't easy. It may involve sacrifice. It may mean giving up things you like, but Jesus is saying it's worth it. He's saying that our spiritual purity, our moral integrity, is more important than any temporary pleasure sin might offer. And remember, we are not in this struggle alone. Jesus taught us to pray and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. Matthew 6, verse 13. We can and should ask for God's help to resist temptation. Now let's talk about something we all do every day: talk. Jesus has a lot to say about our words in the Sermon on the Mount. He says, but I tell you that everyone will have to give account on the day of judgment for every empty word they have spoken. Matthew 12, verse 36. This puts our daily conversations in a whole new perspective, doesn't it? Jesus is emphasizing the power of words. They are not just sounds coming out of our mouths. They have the power to build up or tear down, to heal or hurt. So how can we apply this in our daily lives? How about trying a gossip fast for a week? Challenge yourself not to speak ill of anyone, even jokingly or harmlessly. Instead, look for ways to use your words to encourage and uplift others. Jesus also speaks about oaths. He says, but I tell you, do not swear an oath at all. All you need to say is simply yes or no. Anything beyond this comes from the evil one. Matthew 5:34-37.